Well, hello there everyone, this is Iron Mark III and welcome back to my little adventure run on From the Depths, where I am now going to enter the fight of my life of the Cookie Wagon against the Ant Lion. This is going to be a really even fight, I can just feel it. That looks like a half decent shell actually. But yeah, here comes the missiles. Let's just see what it does now. I get the feeling this might be a game changer in this fight. Or not, all the missiles sank into the water. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted to happen. Right. Okay. Now, I've got a level with you guys. 100 subscriber video. Planned. I've looked at your suggestions. Thank you for those. I do know what I want to do with them now. Yep, Antlion's dead. Unfortunately, it means there's going to be a slight deadline problem. Which, incidentally, is all your fault. And my fault, too, I must admit. Now then, when I put my video up yesterday, I said I want to do something for 100 subscribers when I hit that. And I was at 95. I was thinking, next week I might be able to reach that. It slowed down in the last few days, so I'm being quite reasonable thinking about that and going next week sometime, because that'll give me a bit of time to get it sorted out, get some feedback, all that kind of thing. I began to get worried this morning when just before I went to work, I checked and uploaded a couple of videos and I was at 97. I got back from work a little while ago, decided I wanted to try and put out a video for today, and 102. I've passed the 100 mark, and thank you so much, but the 100 subscriber level video is not ready. I haven't had a chance to do anything with it at all, and I also said next week because I won't have a chance to do anything about it until the next few days have passed, because I just won't have time. I just won't have time. Still, thank you so much, and I will make good on that. I will make subscriber 100 sub videos plural, because I've been looking at the suggestions. And I do think that I can make several of the things that you guys have mentioned there. Like, I can't actually do video on Star Sector, though thank you for pointing me towards that game. It looks interesting. I think I'm going to check it out. And I'll do that, but I don't think I can make a good video on that, so sorry, that's not quite something I can really do. Tutorial on the style of helicopter that I'm using right now, which is, I think it's referred to as a hovercraft by the community. I'm not quite sure. I'm not hip on all the lingo and all that kind of stuff. I can do that. I can do a tutorial showing you that, how to do this. It's the first and, well, in some ways only aircraft style I've actually managed to master properly in this game. Something over there. Oh, my fuel's almost gone. So yeah, I've got this craft working. I can use a standard holocraft. Holocraft? It's a bit early to be messing up my words, isn't it? A typical helicopter. I can show you how to make that too, though I'm not very good at it. That's actually the first fly I ever made, technically, but it was an absolute abomination, and you might see it, you might not. Actually, you probably will. I think I've still got it saved somewhere. So there is that. But I can't actually build a standard plane. I don't know how to do that. So that's one weakness in my playing style, I suppose you could say. I can't build a plane to save my life. Whenever I build one, it just goes Ooh, splash into the water and just doesn't stay up at all. Yep, that's flying. I'm heading for that resource zone over there. So yeah, there will be 100 subscriber videos coming as soon as I can find the time to actually do it. And that's the main issue, time. But yeah, I'm going to do tutorial video on how to make this kind of flyer and a Warhorse? It's on its side. It's out of fuel. Oh, okay, I'm going to go for that. I'll keep heading that way and pick that thing off when I get to it. And I'll grab that resource pocket on the way as well. But yeah, I'm going to do for 100 subs, I'm going to do a tutorial video on how to get this kind of craft in the air and how to make it function in a useful fashion. Like, if you do only the basics of this craft, I know it just wobbles all over the place, or when you fire the engines, it just flips all over, and if you put the rotors in the wrong place, it'll actually turn upside down. It does do that, even if you've got only vertical thrust on, it can do that. So it's not quite as simple as just slap the pieces together. You've got to do it in a certain order, more or less. There's something else over there now as well. Yeah, I'll keep heading that way. Second thing I want to do is... it's related actually. It's the suggestion to have a guide on how to get started in adventure mode. So I think I can do something about that, which just gives some general advice kind of thing. It's going to mostly be along the lines of get really lucky and run away a lot. Those are the two most important things I can say about it. But I will go into a bit more detail on that and how to do it as well. Something way behind me over there. The third video suggestion is that I do a kind of trip down memory lane style thing to go back and show you the stuff that I've done before when I first came into Robocraft and how I've got on since then. Because I've got that entire design library just sitting around that I can draw from. So I can do something about that. Quite easily, in fact. Well, not quite easily. There would be a lot of editing. It would just be clips taken from my old videos. Because most of my designs didn't actually appear in my old videos. But still, it's going to be... oh. Yep, firing at the thing that's down, I assume. It's going to be a useful reference point, I think. But that will take some more planning and maybe even... scripting. Ugh. Why scripting? Oh, incoming missiles, eh? Oh well, I've got the resource zone, so I'll just move in on that thing. This is my first time running into laser-guided missiles, I think, and ooh, this might be nasty. Get out of dodge. What are you? Ow, ow, ow. Ooh. Those things are actually kind of nasty. This may have been a horrible idea. I can't effectively deal with this. Oh dear. For those thinking that this adventure craft was doing really well and it was getting too strong, I am still quite vulnerable in some ways. Wait, was that a laser? No, it's just the laser targeting going on. Oh, at least I've got plenty of armor. I can absorb a bunch of hits. And I've got the resources to keep myself patched up as well, but I'd still rather it wasn't doing that to me, to be quite honest with you. Yeah. Oh well, I'm going to be in missile range soon, so that'll help. I just hope there's nothing else nearby. So yeah, 2 tutorial vids, and also I'm going to do a trip down memory lane, which will show some fortress designs, my very first flyer, since I still think I've got that saved. My previous YouTube series ships, I've still got loads of those saved as well, though in many ways they have become broken by updates. So yeah, it's just a visit to all that, and those 3 videos, I think I can manage to get them all out next week. I can definitely do the 2 tutorials. Memory lane one might take a bit longer, but I'll do that. So that's going to be my 100 subscriber thank you. Just those videos that I take my time with and try to build. Hang on. You're moving. You've got fuel. What are you? You aren't even the ship I was trying to find. You are a chorus. A fully armed, fully active ship of some kind. And I don't know what you are. Well. Anyway. Very quickly mention, you saw me doing some fiddling around in my cannon controls. And that's because I think I've got a way to stop it from blowing themselves up. Yep, there we go, they're firing. Excellent. And they haven't blown up. That is a sign of progress. And this thing's turning. It's quite agile, actually. Yeah. I worked out there was a bunch of ways I could try and deal with the bomb problem, but this seems to be the way that's most effective. The first one I was going to do is have the bombs only drop if I was below a certain speed. I was going to look at the automated control blocks and rig up a separate AI so that it would turn them on, turn them off, all of that. But I realised there was a slight problem when I did some testing, and my bombs were blowing themselves up even at speeds of down to 15 meters a second and stuff like that. I mean, higher speeds do make it more likely to happen, but it can happen reliably and can be easily reproduced at much lower speeds, so it's not really something that can be easily dealt with in that fashion, as much as I would have loved to, and I need better ammo regeneration, definitely. If you haven't read the comments, by the way, that was a bug last time, that I wasn't regenerating any ammo. Something spawned in, it broke my regeneration, and so I just couldn't do it. Where's he gone? Oh, there's fog. He's over there. Okay, I'm doing some damage, so I can kill this guy. That's okay. Then I need to find the guy that's got no fuel left as well. So yeah, what I did was I reduced my bomb drop range to 350 meters. I'm cruising around at 300, so that gives it a 50 meter margin of error when it's trying to hit something underneath me. Because what's causing the bombs to explode like that is when the bomb chute goes full out 85, 90 degrees forward, backwards, or in any other direction, because then it clips into the armor plating that's around it, and that causes the bomb to go off, and that causes explosions and hijinks and all that kind of thing. But since I fiddled with that at the start of this recording, I've not seen my bombs actually going and blowing up. So yeah, I think I've cracked it, at least in this case. If you have a flyer using these bombs which has variable altitude though, that is going to be a whole other kettle of fish and a serious problem. And you are dead. Excellent. Now. Yep, there it is, the Warhorse, and there's a resource pocket over there as well, for some reason. Okay. Oh, something else I should mention actually, is I did actually try out that F3 view camera bug, which kicked me out into third-person camera. That is very true. But it kicked me out into third-person camera not anchored to my actual craft. So my craft would fly away and I'd have to move the camera to keep up all the time, really. So I don't think I'm going to use that. I much prefer to have a camera anchored to my actual craft for when I'm going around. So yeah, there is that. Sorry to disappoint you. But anyway, let's see, there was something I wanted to do. Oh yes, there was another suggestion actually, which was tied to the whole comment that my craft is becoming too overpowered. It's exploiting the fact it's a flyer, and so it's I should rebuild this entire thing as a ship for my 100 subscriber video. And I'm sorry, but I don't think that's actually true. I am in a much better position than I was before, but this craft is still quite easy to damage if you've got the right weaponry, or if your weaponry can effectively target an aircraft, especially one that gets nearby. I mean, this thing is designed to get above a ship, and I know for a fact most ships aren't actually designed in such a way that they can actually target straight upwards. Missile systems can normally do it, So can some... green gate over there. So can some cannons, but for the most part, directly above is a serious weak point for any ship. And that's why bombers and things try to get above you, really. To drop your bombs and take less fire in return. But then again, I've not run into a seriously heavy laser ship in a while either. And I know something like that would probably gut me quite effectively. I don't have anything anti-laser fitted to this ship. Anyway, let's keep... Ooh, resource pocket over there. That's good. But let's get started on something else I said I'd be doing today. And that is to improve my weapon systems. Because it is about time I added to my weapon systems, don't you think? I mean, I do. I think it's more than time, actually. So I need to figure out where I want to put this. Now then. Let's do it there, yep. What I'm planning to do is, I'm planning to add cannons. I'm going to take Jester's old shell design that he gave me about a week ago now. I'm sorry, I've been planning to use this since you first mentioned it, but I've not got around to installing the cannons to actually, you know, do the actual shooting part of it. Another? More resources for me. But now I'm going to start mounting side turrets into this craft, which will be able to properly make use of all that. But there is a good chance while I do this my craft is going to flip on its side because of weight distribution and all that. So let's get started. No, I don't want to load a sub-object, thank you. New object. This is going to be my preferred turret style because it's going to be a long one. I'm planning to build it out along the back of this section here where my missile turrets are mounted. Plan to do it like that, and then that's going to be one long cannon section with the cannons mounted on the very end of it, so they're going to have a full field of fire on one side of my craft, which means they can attack below me for ships to help bombing, they can attack things above me or to the front or behind or sides. It's only directly left or right that they won't really be able to target at with at least one weapon system. So this is going to help a whole lot, I think. I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put it, because there's also the aesthetic side of things as well. Let's put it... Oh, there's also weight. That's a big factor. Let's put it here. I'm going to reverse it so it's pointing backwards, and this is where my turret is going to be. At least the heart of it is. And it's going to be advanced cannons and things as well. So, yep. I'll get back to you as soon as I've got something more interesting to show you. I can't tell where the hell I'm going because I'm sideways. Hooray. Enemy's still over there. I'm passing by resource zones though. Yeah. Be right back. Okay, we are back and I am just checking into the second resource zone. The first is completely gone. And you can see the beginnings of the advanced cannon which I'm starting to craft onto the side of the ship. Just need to cycle through for it. Right. As a general tip, if you're building a big advanced cannon like this, which has got a really, really deep base part to it, then I find it's a good idea to build it out using all of these gauge systems like this. And then, because it's all the wrong way round, once you get to where you want the fine piece to be, like up here, then you go back through it and simply reverse the facing of the gauge pieces. And that will let you more easily connect it all up without having lots of wood blocks and stuff like that just sitting around inside your cannon kind of thing. I'm about to start collecting resources as well, so that is excellent. Now, I've built it pretty long. I've got 20 meters of internal space on this thing, but it's only going to be a 9-block slice cannon, so it's really narrow, really long, because I want it to be in these tubes sticking out from the sides of the craft, really, as part of its general aesthetic. I mean, where these thrusters stabilizers are on the side, I'm going to be rounding that out as part of the general look of the craft. And then I've done my usual trick with cannons, which is I've moved the firing piece and barrel back on top of where the turret's going to be. It makes for a slightly odd looking turret, but it also controls how much of the weight is getting out of place as well by having a long barrel. thing is, I don't know how long this barrel actually needs to be, because I've not actually had a chance to look at Jester's cannon design yet, his shell. So I'm just going to try and make it the best I can. Let's see, restrictions. It is a 100mm shell. So like that. And because I know this already from working it out, the best way to increase my rate of fire on the cheap is to give it a double barrel first, and then from there move on to cooling units depending on how big you want the weapon to be. So let's start getting the gauge up. 89mm. I did that wrong. There we go, right. 100mm. And that is an incredibly short weapon. Also, that resource zone is already gone. Yeah. Okay, I'd better get back on track. Now, where was that thing? Still over there. I got to admit, my craft does look slightly silly with this this really thin protrusion just sticking out the side of it. But you know, it's the way an in-progress cannon looks, so it can't be helped. At least I'm getting relatively near to this guy now, I think. Yeah, he's not too far now. Back to more cannons. Now that I've actually got the basic shape of how I want it to be, it is time to actually flesh this thing out a bit more and try to work out how I want the rest of it to look. Because one of the things you've got to be aware of actually is recoil, ammunition capacity, how quickly it can load from the weapon magazines. There's a lot of stuff to do. Actually, while I think about it, let's go into the depth of my ship, into the ammo magazine, because this is where I want to be. I don't want to stack something explosive where it's not going to be contained, for obvious reasons. I've done that enough already, thank you. And I'm going to replace part of my magazine with what I need to actually have this shell design installed. Let's see, 100mm 5 ammo customizers. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Right. It is 2 solid warheads, 1 sabot body, 1 sabot head. Sabot head, sabot body, and 2 solid bodies, like that. Is that accurate to what he said? Sorry, what they said. I don't know if it's he, don't know if it's she. Sorry, Jester, I have no idea. Oh yeah, it's at 60mm, not 100. 1, 0, 0. Right. AP 25, 1732, 1659, all accurate. Okay, right. There is, however, a way I can fix this, I think. I can improve it. Is it all accurate? That is all accurate. An immediate improvement I can see here is to actually give it a base bleeder instead of that 6 gunpowder. Because when you hit 5 gunpowders, a base bleeder is just as effective as a 6th gunpowder, but it gives you slow, well, it gives you faster cooldown because there's not as much explosive, and it gives you less recoil, so this should be about the same. Yeah, slightly reduced its armor piercing, slightly reduced its kinetic damage. Okay, has that been changed? 582 meters a second. Yeah, so it's slightly slower, so that does reduce things a little bit, but if I was reading that right, range 4073. It increases the range by nearly about 40%, and I'm getting shot at. I heard a splash. So yeah, the base bleeder is a good addition to that shell, I think, because it reduces the actual punch by a little bit, but gives it bigger range as a trade-off, so it's pretty good. Yep, I see a shell arcing my way. That thing is out of fuel, but it is not dead by any means. And I'm actually close enough to start firing back. So hooray for me. Just quickly quick look actually. 1 meter shell rack, fine. Yep. Yeah, this is actually looking quite a reasonable ground, even with that small change. Do I need to turn to make sure I don't actually get shot at too badly? BRB when I get closer. Okay, close enough for the missiles to start engaging. I won't be engaging with that cannon because, unsurprisingly, it's not ready. It's not built to actually fight in any meaningful way. Ow. Right on the front armour, how dare you! Didn't do too much damage though. Except for killing those thrusters on that side. Oopsie daisy. Yeah, that was actually the biggest loss. It killed my steering on that side. That's all it did. Those are pretty big shells. And yep, bombs are dropping off now without any problems. I think dropping the range to 350 meters was actually the perfect thing to do for them. And I don't know if this thing can actually shoot upwards. Let's take a look-see. I've overshot, and that's a shell, that's a shell, that's a shell, turn. Oh, yep, that thing can actually turn to its weaponry to engage me quite effectively. Its main problem is that it's actually out of fuel, so I am effectively circling it, just trying to pick it apart. If it had fuel and was moving, it would actually be something I'd be seriously worried about. Incoming. Oh, jeez. Where are you going to hit? Missed. Stop doing that. By the way, something I've noticed actually is that while I was testing to try and get my bombs working properly, the rear bomb launchers, one for one, are actually more powerful than that big one I've got underneath the front of my ship. They fire faster, they hit harder, and they're more efficient. Oh dear. Boom. I hope that didn't do too much. Not really, it just... yeah. Those shells it's firing are not actually that dangerous overall. It's more a case of they do a nasty blast and damage things nearby, and that's about it. With the exception of my engine area, my armour is... oh. Hello! That thing is ridiculous. I mean, I just saw the size of that shell as it went past. It was like... it's bigger than me! It's bigger than I am, and it's just... yeah. Oh well. I need to keep on the move, so I can't stop and continue my building while killing this thing. Which is as it should be. I shouldn't be able to build stuff while killing stuff. So I'll get back to you as soon as I've managed to pick this thing apart, because it was crippled when I got here, so I'm just finishing the job effectively. You know, now that I'm looking at it, I think this thing was actually... yeah, it's got spinners inside it. This thing was actually once a fellow flyer. And that massive cannon is what was lobbing shells at me. But I think I've damaged its AI, and now I'm just bombing it to pieces. But yeah, this was once a flyer. Ran out of fuel, so its lift failed, so it ditched in the water. So it's more or less crippled. But I think that if this thing was actually in the air, I'm not sure if I could have taken this, to be quite honest. If this thing was flying around, I would have been able to bring my bombs to bear on it like I am. Its cannon would have been picking me apart from the sides and the front, and all I could have really combated it with was my forward missile launcher, which is not, quite frankly, not geared for a craft like this. Oh geez, there's a massive underside cannon as well. Yeah, I think this thing could have posed a serious problem. If it hadn't run out of fuel. If that thing had fuel, I would have actually run away, I think, rather than try and take it on. Because I just don't have enough punch without my bombs and my torpedoes coming into play. It's a shame. I would have enjoyed fighting you. If you hadn't become resource starved and died. And so it is dead. The Warhorse has just perished, and I now have nearly 23,000 resources. I actually panicked slightly towards the end there, and I've just crammed a bunch of extra resource storage into my main engine compartment, which I was at 25,000 maximum, now I'm at 33,500 maximum, just to make sure. But I had just enough as it was, but this is plenty to continue my refit, so... Why are there so many resource zones now? Yep, I'll get back to getting on that cannon. There's something like... I'm just passing the 30-minute mark now, I think, so... I'll try and get the cannon's core at least working before the end of the episode, so... Yeah, bear with me. I'll try and keep it interesting. Well, hello. I was busy building my cannon. You can see it's a little bit better. Hey, that was my anti-aircraft launcher. Oh. I think I'm going to run. That looks like something I can't readily mess with, and it snuck up on me. I must admit that. And it's... I don't even know what that is, and it took out my anti-aircraft missile launcher without too much trouble. It's a flyer, so I don't have much that's ready to go against it. And it is raining shells upon me quite rapidly. It's a shame, really. I was hoping to get my cannon built for the last part of this video, the overrun time, which I normally have above my 30-minute target. But it's not to be. I'm not even sure what that is. Okay, my weapons are fixed at least. So let's have a look. I am running away from a swordfish. The hell's a swordfish? Oh, it's a deep water guard design. I recognise that. But I don't have much that can deal with it. Altitude 194 actually. Speed 23. Altitude 194. I can either engage this thing or I can outrun it. I think it's lost interest in me. Have you lost interest in me? I think you have. Yeah, you can see the weight of my cannon is actually tipping my craft down, so left to its own devices, my craft is now slowly turning. And it's also running low on fuel again. I do need to upgrade my engines. Well, actually, it's not my engines, it's the RTGs that I want to upgrade. So let's get that into place. Anyway, quick rundown for these last couple of minutes. What I've been doing is this cannon on my side, I have been rigging it up with a great deal of recoil absorption to pack into this 3x3 grid. So as you can see here, it's got a lot of recoil absorbers. Am I turning too far? I am. I need to turn this way to engage that thing. Yeah. I think I actually get above this thing and drop bombs on it, which is going to be quite effective. But I need to get close first. Oh, it's going after something else. Yeah, a lot of recoil absorption because it's a flyer. I don't want to be knocked around by recoil too much. Big ammo magazine further out, so if it does get breached, it's going to... You know, it's going to contain the explosion away from me more than anything else. Yep, that thing is engaging quite nicely. My altitude is suffering a little bit, though. What are you engaging? You are engaging a... Oh, hello, it's a churl. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna wade in on this fight, definitely. I can do some serious damage here if I can catch up with it. The heck was that? That looked like a nuke going off. Can't have been though. I don't think either of those ships have nukes. Oh wow. The craft I was so worried about has actually just been severely damaged. But anyway, I'm getting my altitude back now, so I should be okay. I just need to get into position to drop bombs on this thing, which means I might actually ram it. I'm not sure what altitude it's actually at now. Also, it's firing missiles at me. bounced off. Okay, sure. Okay. I'm just lucky that thing got distracted, really. Because it's been so badly damaged, and that leaves the warship down there to deal with as well. This is going to be another flipping 40-minute video, I think. Oh well. Come on, drop it. Ditch it in the water. Yeah, you did a lot. As soon as that thing ditches in the water, I can just start bombing the hell out of it, so... Come on. I'll make you pay for interrupting my building session. Yep, it's still trying to take off. So there is that. My missiles and... Sorry, my torpedoes are not firing, so... Maybe I set the maximum range on them a bit too far away. Oh yep, here come the bombs. I am bombing my fellow flyer while it's still in the air. Ooh! Right on an engine. I think that's probably put it out of commission, actually. Oh no, it's turning. Come on. I can do this. I'm going to ignore the warship. I'm going to try and stay above the flyer because that is more dangerous to me. At least my torpedoes are firing again, so there is that. I really need to upgrade my detection systems. This thing is pretty blind now that I'm watching it with care. Nice if that side cannon was actually up, but it's not. It doesn't have an AI weapon controller on it or anything like that, so it can't actually fire properly. There's that green cannon I was so worried about. Oh, it's turning. And it's firing. Oh, that... that's actually a pretty decent rate of fire on that thing. It's not going after the target I wanted it for. I wanted to go after that flyer, but... oh well. That was my cannon firing for the first time. I am so proud. Still wanted to go after that thing though, not the ship. But to be fair though, it's got better chances of hitting the ship because it's not really that accurate. I don't have the AIs to make it perfectly accurate. Oh dear. That got taken out. I hope it was by my missiles. Might have been the churl, but now I can just focus on bombing that ship. Drop some bombs on it for good measure, eh? Sure, but there it goes. Who got the kill? And it was me. My resources just jumped up by a couple of thousand. Okay, sure. Now let's take a look at this thing. This cannon, I must note, it's not actually firing at full capacity. Because it's going as fast as its ammo can be restocked right now. And even with a total of 16 inputs running, trying to keep it stocked, it seems to have a much higher rate of fire than that. So, I'm not sure how fast this rate of fire actually is. But at least it's a sign of things to come. My question now is, what is its rate at? What can it do? What can you do, my good sir? It can't tell me because it's firing the cannons so fast. I need to have a shell loaded before I can tell what this thing can actually do. It's a shame, but oh well. Let's focus on taking this thing out. Actually, I'm quite happy with this thing. Effective range 5.4 kilometers. Cooldown 0.68 seconds. No wonder it's firing so fast. It needs more magazines. Let's see. Still got a whole bunch of shells loaded. It's having some trouble firing, but I expected that. Off it goes. Recoil only 1000. Right. I seem to have erred too far on the side of caution when it came to the reloads, but still, that is quite an effective cannon, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to save this particular cannon core almost as it is. Actually, there is a slight upgrade I can do to it, which is to give it better loading. Give me an auto loader. Actually, let's give it some belt feds. Yeah, let's give it a couple of belt feds, just for extra kick for a little while when it first engages. Then those will be fed by a single ammo clip, like that. And then those are of course fed by the same class of shell that's going into the main thing, which is still the bleed-based model. Though I have increased the barrel length now to suit what is required of it. So, yep. Assign everything to that. That is the core of my new cannon system. It looks pretty nice. Save sub-object. Cannon turret of the cookie wagon. Sure, why not? 26,000 resources though. I've been doing this and I'm still gaining resources. Now then, where is the internal thing? Here we go. Right. There's the ammo controller, so that means I want this thing to be here. That should about do it. Yep, okay, that's turning. I'm getting ready to fire. Excellent. I think I'm very happy with these cannons. Definitely give me some more options, I think. It doesn't do much for the silhouette of the craft though, having them all exposed like that. I do need to put armour on, but that is going to have to wait for next time, I'm afraid. Because this thing can't stop me now. My bombs were enough for it, but now I've got these cannons on it as well, so yeah, that'll have to come later. A good addition, I think. Are you dead? I think you might be. Yep, you are dead. Okay, victory! I win! Haha! You're completely... 3,000... Ooh, hang on. I now have 29,000 resources. I am filthy stinking rich. And that is also going to be finally the end of this particular recording session and this video, because I still hope to get this thing recorded... Sorry, not recorded, to get this thing edited and uploaded today. So it's going to be a squeeze, I think, but I might be able to still do it. You've seen me put some new cannons onto this thing. They'll be getting armoured next time, so they won't actually detonate as soon as something so much as sneezes in my direction. But they are a welcome little addition, I think, to my craft's firepower. And it definitely gives me some options against another flyer, should I come up against one. So yeah, my final thing is, thank you so very much for subscribing to me. And you are all completely insane. I don't know why you want to watch this channel, but still, thank you. Thank you. This has been Iron Mark 3. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you some other time. See you later.